Yo, what is going on guys, Flashverse here and welcome back to another video on Superman and Lois, and this will be my review and breakdown for Superman and Lois Season 1 Episode 7 titled Man of Steel. And this episode was just crazy. We had so many insane twists and reveals which I just cannot wait to talk about. And also, fun fact, just in case you guys didn't know, this episode was actually directed by David Ramsey, who obviously plays John Diggle, aka Spartan on Arrow. And can I just say, he's done a fantastic job directing this episode. I thought it was just perfect. And just giving you guys my quick initial thoughts on this episode, I thought this episode was awesome to perfect. We had some really cool storylines with each of the characters. We also had some insane Captain Luthor and evil Superman flashbacks, and I was in love with those. I watched this episode with Arrowverse, who's another YouTuber. You guys could check him out in the description down below. But yeah, I watched the episode with him, and when we saw those flashbacks, our jaws split. They were just crazy, and I just cannot wait to talk about those. And yeah, that twist we had with Captain Luthor as well, we need to talk about because that was crazy. But obviously, before I get into the review and breakdown, spoiler alert in case you guys haven't seen the episode, because there are some major spoilers which you certainly wouldn't want to hear from me. So if you guys haven't seen the episode, go watch the episode and come back later for this review and breakdown. And for those who are staying, be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you are aware of more Arrowverse content coming your way. Okay, so this episode kicks off with Clark and Jordan in the Fortress of Solitude, and we have Clark taking Jordan to the Fortress of Solitude so he could figure out what's happening with Jordan. And we find out that Jordan's hearing has increased and he needs time to adapt to his new powers because his hearing has increased to a point where he could hear so many things at once. So when they get back home, he basically puts these headphones and they seem to give him some comfort, but he needs to train to control these powers so that he could hear properly and that he's calm. And we do also find out that Clark was down for 2 weeks when he started hearing things like Jordan did. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now we then head over to Morgan Edge's company, and we have Lana showing up to work to obviously start her new job because Morgan Edge employed her from last episode. And from the ending of last episode, we also found out that she's now working with Lois Lane to track things that are unusual about Morgan Edge and things related to X-Kryptonite. So we have Lana basically going through people's resumes and employing people for Morgan Edge. But what she doesn't know is that they are X-Kryptonite test subjects pretty much. Now in the meantime, while that is happening, we have Leslie Lar, who is dispatched to send a small shipment of X-Kryptonite to see who comes looking for it, because Morgan Edge doesn't want any issues coming with the X-Kryptonite, because now they're not allowed to grab the X-Kryptonite and leave because we had Lois Lane and some mysterious person helping her in getting that kryptonite. So Morgan Edge doesn't want any failures and he doesn't want to take the risk. So they want to dispatch this small shipment of X-Kryptonite pretty much as a distraction. And we also have Lois basically setting this meeting with quote unquote Marcus, who's obviously Captain Luthor, and she wants to find out who he really is. So we have Lois going to Luthor's caravan and she basically sets this meeting up with him. And then we then get these flashbacks between Luthor and his version of Lois, and we obviously find out that they're married, and yeah, they've been doing some funny business together, and then their daughter walks in on them and they're pretty damn happy. But then Superman interrupts them by basically causing chaos in the city, because in Captain Luthor's world, Superman is a villain. He's an evil Superman, and basically him and some other bunch of Kryptonians, I'm guessing they are also X-Kryptonite subjects but from the metropolis of this version of Luthor's world, and they're pretty much just causing chaos across metropolis, and they're just basically destroying buildings and stuff. They're basically bringing down the city, and I just got chills watching that. It was very, very cool to see. And the visuals were also very stunning. The visuals for this show is just next level and I just love it. But we then have Jordan continuing to struggle with his powers, and we do get these times where we have Clark training Jordan on how to basically control his hearing. He has to focus at one thing so that he could hear properly. So we have Clark testing him with the water taps and stuff, and I thought that was pretty cool seeing Clark train his kid into hearing properly. But we have Lois going to confront Marcus, otherwise known as Captain Luthor, while Clark checks out his caravan. Now, Luthor knows that Edge is trying to make an army of super soldiers, and that's why he tells Lois. So he needs to get in touch with Superman to Lois Lane. But the thing with this is, Lois doesn't trust him because she doesn't know who he is. He basically lied about his identity, so Lois is still sus about Captain Luthor. But while that is happening, we have Clark going into Captain Luthor's truck, and he hears that device call out the name, Captain Luthor. And basically this is where Clark finds out that this person was supposedly a Luthor. Obviously later on in the episode we find out that that is not the case, but for now they're suspicious that this person they're talking to is a Luthor. And then after Clark got that intel, he goes back to Lois and basically tells her what he heard. And the thing with this now is that they're trying to find out who he could be. Is he like related to Lex Luthor somehow? Is he like a son or something like that? They want to know who this person is because all they heard was Luthor. They don't really know if he was like a Lex Luthor or something. They did also bring up the multiverse as well, which I thought was pretty cool. And it seems like they will be reintroducing the multiverse with Superman and Lois, so I think that's a pretty cool idea as well. Now, Lex doesn't seem to know who Clark is, and he doesn't obviously know that Clark is Superman because when he goes back to his caravan and then the AI mentions an intruder, he sees Clark Kent and he's not bothered about it at all. He's just like, oh, this is Lois's husband, he's not a threat. But we then have Lois and Clark heading to track the X-Kryptonite shipment, but the thing is, Lex Luthor was already 10 steps ahead, if you will. The AI was able to give Lex Luthor like this pinpoint in where the X-Kryptonite was stashed, and he has arrived way before Lois and Clark did. So yeah, the shipment of X-Kryptonite is going to get stopped, but there is a van behind the truck filled with gunmen, and yeah, that is dangerous. So Superman intervenes and puts the van on top of like this mountain, and then we have Luthor being able to get the stash of X-Kryptonite, and Lois continuously demands answers about who this person is and like what he is doing. And then we have Captain Luthor telling Lois that he needs to get in touch with Superman so he could talk about what is going on and things like that. Now we do also have the storyline with the kids where we basically have Jonathan getting hit on by a girl at school, and we also have Jordan trying to expand his hearing and basically hear better by focusing on Sarah, and that doesn't end well because he's able to hear the conversation her and Jonathan have. And the issue with this is he takes it wrong and he thinks that basically Jonathan was being sweet and he's basically trying to hit on the person he likes. But one very cool scene we also had, and we understand more of Luthor's motivations after this, was this other flashback scene between Luthor and his version of the characters from his world. And we basically have Lois on TV and she's basically calling to the public to find this green rock called kryptonite so that they could stop this version of Superman. But the thing behind this is Captain Luthor and his daughter are able to see Lois get vaporized by heat vision through evil Superman, and just seeing Captain Luthor and his daughter witnessing Lois or a family member getting vaporized in front of them in TV, that was brutal, and I absolutely loved that scene. It was very, very cool. The flashbacks were probably my favorite parts of the episode. But we have Lois telling Clark to basically take the sample of X-Kryptonite to the DOD for inspection, and she wants to work with Chrissy Beppo to try and tie Lex Luthor to this Captain Luthor person somehow, in which we have Lex preparing for his meeting with Kal-El, and we are presented with this long montage of Captain Luthor and his daughter making the Lexo suit we saw in episodes 1, 2, and 3, I think. But yeah, it's basically this suit which allows him to face off against Kryptonians, and I really like that montage between him in present day building the hammer for a specific reason, and then him in the past on his world building the Lexo suit. I thought it was pretty cool. But we also have Jordan calling Jonathan out on his conversation with Sarah, and Jonathan just puts him in his place. He basically shuts him up. Yeah, that doesn't end well with the two brothers. But one WTF moment, and I wasn't expecting this at all, but we learned that the print on the kryptonite that Lex has matched, it was with someone called John Henry Irons. And firstly, I thought that was just his Earth Prime counterpart. I still thought our version of this character was still Captain Luthor, but we basically have Captain Luthor confronting Superman, and he begins to speak Kryptonian, which reveals to Superman that this person was the stranger. So we have Superman rushing towards Captain Luthor, or shall I say John Henry Irons. But the thing is, Captain Luthor basically set this red sunlight trap, so yeah, Superman is weakened. And this is where we get the stranger's identity being revealed, and I thought this was a very cool twist where he isn't actually Lex Luthor, but he is also John Henry Irons, aka Steel. So he does go up to Superman and he says, "You are not the Man of Steel, I am." And I thought that was very cool because in the comics, John Henry Irons is obviously called Steel, and he does also have the hammer with him, so I thought that was a really nice touch as well. And the episode title, Man of Steel, like when you first see it, you think it's based on Superman, but actually it was based off Captain Luthor, but no one saw this coming. This was such a cool twist and I really liked it. But yeah, he's able to beat Superman with the red sunlight as an advantage and with his famous hammer as well. But the thing with this is Jordan is able to hear that someone is trying to kill his dad, so he tells Jonathan about this, and we do have this cool scene with Jonathan and Jordan driving to save Superman. Jordan's basically trying to hear where the noises are coming from, and I really like that. That was basically helping Jordan train with his hearing, so I thought that was pretty cool. They're eventually able to save him and hit Lex with the truck, and I thought that was very cool. And we also have Lois arriving just in time to stop Superman from keeping the fight going, and he was about to deliver like a final punch against Luthor, but Lois stops that from happening. So we have Superman standing down and Lex, or shall I now say John Henry Irons, is basically knocked out. And meanwhile that is happening, Leslie Lar sends the shipment of X-Kryptonite since Superman is now distracted. So yeah, they were not able to grab hold of the remaining pieces of X-Kryptonite. But yeah, in the final moments of the episode, we have Captain Luthor, or John Henry Irons, getting trapped at the DOD, where Superman will be questioning him in the morning, and we basically get another Captain Luthor flashback where on his world he was able to track down Kal-El, and he wants to go after Kal-El and basically kill him because this may be the only shot which he has. So he has this emotional goodbye with his daughter. But the thing about this is we do get the reveal behind the whole Captain Luthor thing, where we find out that the Lexus suit was still programmed so that the suit and the AI basically think that Lex Luthor is the person wearing the suit, but in reality it's John Henry Irons, it's not Lex Luthor. So that's where the idea of Captain Luthor comes from, because the AI thinks that the person wearing the suit or the person it's talking to is Lex Luthor or Captain Luthor. So I thought that was a pretty cool addition as well. But we also have Clark and Lois agreeing to tell the boys everything that is going on, so I really like that as well. We did also have Jordan apologizing for spying on Jordan. And yeah, next episode seems to be pretty damn intense from the trailer. It seems like we're going to see more of Captain Luthor's backstory and how he ended up on Earth Prime, so I think that's going to be really cool to see. We're obviously going to see Superman confront Captain Luthor and try and understand more of his motivations. And I just cannot wait for this episode. Overall, this episode was just perfect. I had no issues at all with this episode. I was intrigued all the way through. So therefore, I'm going to give this episode a solid 10 out of 10 because this episode was just perfect. I absolutely loved everything from the flashbacks to the reveal with Captain Luthor being revealed as John Henry Irons, aka Steel. I loved everything. So yeah, I'm going to give this episode a straight 10 out of 10 because I absolutely enjoyed it. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to tell me in the comment section down below what you guys thought about the episode. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.